Kendrick Lamar just released his new album GNX out of nowhere, and in this video we're gonna uncover the secrets behind its production.
Woke up looking for the broccoli. Hot key, keep a horn on me, that come my seat.
Kendrick teased Squabble Up a while ago, and its production really grabbed people's attention. It actually samples this freestyle vocal dance song from Debbie Deb. There are lots of things to take from the beat, but let's start with the bass. Interestingly, it was a part of the sample, and even though it's a dance track, it has a West Coast hip hop sound to it, which is probably why Kendrick was drawn to the sample in the first place. To sound design a bass like that, I first opened up the Mini V3 from Arturia and used a 3 oscillator preset. Then I brought the cutoff down and pulled up the filter emphasis, giving it the resonance that it needs. Make sure both sustains are down and bring the decay up a little bit. Finally, I did the vocal filter and chorus, and I layered on top another bass. At certain points in the track, Debbie Deb's vocals come in. Now in the sample, her vocal melody is used for a lot of the other instruments as well. To copy this technique, I found another Debbie Deb song, extracted the vocals, and copied the melody using a bell from my Flow State analog lab bank. The vocals only come in sparingly, and there are lots of other layers, so I muted them for now and moved on to some synths. First, there's this very fake sounding guitar, but that's exactly what we want as it matches the vintage sound from that era. As well as that, we have this synth lead. Next, we needed to add some accents. They're all over the sample, lots of pitch bends and laser-like sounds, adding ear candy to the track. To make a siren-like sound on the one, I simply drew in a one-note melody, created an automation clip for the pitch, and dragged it down so it slowly glides through an octave. I also added in some laser sound effects from Flow State. To finish off the melodies, we of course had to add that classic West Coast lead sound. Kendrick used this a lot on GNX. I grabbed 2 leads from the Flow State bank. Flow State is half price right now as a part of my Black Friday sale. I'm doing huge deals on all of my kits, so now is the best chance you're gonna get in a long time to get my kits for cheap. Hit the link below and be quick as it ends on December 3rd. Finally, we have some simple yet bouncy West Coast drums. A clap is essential, so I paired that with a spaced out hi-hat, followed by a hard-hitting spins 808. For our second beat, I wanted to look at the even more menacing production on GNX with songs like Peekaboo.
What they talking about? They ain't talking about none. What they talking about? They ain't talking about none. What they talking about? They ain't talking about none. What they talking about? They ain't talking about none.
Again, it's a West Coast inspired beat, but the thing that stood out the most to me was the sped up vocal sample. So to start our beat, I put down a simple dark bass line and recorded in some vocals. Once I'd done this, I used Audemy to make it sound female, then I added some reverb, bounced to audio, and lowered the sample rate to make it filtered out like you can hear in the song. Oh, and I also reversed it. After that, I wanted to take inspiration from the title track. The piano is super in your face, so I copied that vibe by clicking in the melody and added a tape distortion to it to give it a really aggressive texture. Next, I added some synth accents. Now, let's take some more interesting techniques from Soundwave's production. For example, on Hey Now.
Hey now, say now, mother by my yin. Big face Buddha, get my peace from within.
The melody of this beat is a bird sound and vocal chop. I made something similar by chopping up this bird chirping loop and recording in some vocals, adding phasing and reverb to give it the sound that we needed. These give the high end of a hi-hat, so to finish the drums, I just added this classic West Coast rim with a clap. Finally, I went back to GNX for inspiration on the 808. It's super stuttered and doesn't hit straight away like most 808s do, something like this. So we've covered the dark West Coast inspired production on the project. However, there are some softer cuts, including Luther and Gloria, both with scissor.
Relationship, she's so controlling, I notice it ain't no playing with.
Gloria is based around a beautiful guitar chord progression, something like this. Luther uses a soft Rhodes sound in the background to give it some depth. I use some keys from Flow State for something similar. On Gloria, again, you can hear these ambient vocal chops in the background, so I grabbed a vocal phrase from Leia's Legacy, chopped it up, and added it into our beat. Finally, we have to replicate Sounwave's drums on Gloria. They're full of texture. First, it has a very authentic, realistic bounce to it. I also kept that in mind with the sound selection, using claps, rims, and perks. Next, we have some more modern hi-hats that you can hear on Luther. Followed by a kick and synth bass.